Welcome back to the channel, and get ready for tonight's descent into the abyss. Because tonight, we're diving deep into the darkest corners of the internet. These are 5 true horror stories ripped from the headlines of the dark web, each more unsettling than the last. We're talking about the kind of stories that will make you think twice before you ever even think about clicking a suspicious link or venturing into the hidden corners of the web. So, lock your doors, turn off the lights, and make sure you're subscribed, because you don't want to miss a single terrifying detail. Viewer discretion is advised. Our first story takes us deep into the underbelly of the dark web, where Jake, a cybersecurity researcher, found himself staring into the abyss. One late night, while following a trail of encrypted messages, Jake stumbled upon a hidden link to a site called Room. It promised a live stream of something truly horrific. Driven by duty and curiosity, Jake clicked the link. The screen flickered to life, revealing a dimly lit room, bare concrete walls, stained with something that looked eerily like blood. In the center, a lone figure was tied to a chair, their face contorted in a silent scream. The chat room beside the live stream exploded with messages, a chorus of depraved demands from anonymous users. They were giving orders, dictating what would happen next. They were bidding on the man in the chair like cattle at an auction. The winning bidder spoke up and asked for the man's fingernails to be torn off one by one. Jake knew he had to act fast. He copied the site's URL and chat logs, hoping to help authorities shut down this nightmare. When the police searched the URL, a message appeared that said, "URL no longer exists." The Red Room serves as a chilling reminder that some doors are better left unopened. Our next story revolves around an unassuming package and the chilling events it set in motion. Adam, a college student, always scoffed at dark web stories, but his skepticism was about to be tested. He had a friend that had given him a link to what was supposed to be an online black market. Being curious, Adam was looking at a simple lock-picking kit. He suddenly got an uneasy feeling and decided it was best to just not order anything. He closed the browser, never entering any personal information. A couple of nights later, Adam heard a knock at his door. A small package sat on his doorstep. Adam looked around, but there was nobody in sight. Curious, Adam brought it inside. There was no return address, and nothing to let him know who the package was from. As he opened it, dread washed over him. Inside was a simple wooden box, and inside the box was the lock-picking kit he had looked at on the black market website just 2 days before. Under the kit was an envelope. Inside the envelope was a single photo with a note attached. The note simply said, "Do you believe it now?" Adam flipped the photo over. It was a picture of himself, taken recently. The photo had been taken through his window the same night that he had looked at the dark website. Panic seized Adam's chest. How could this be possible? Who took the picture, and why? Days turned into sleepless nights. Adam was tormented by unanswered questions. One night he got a message from an unknown number. The message said, "We are still watching you. Do not speak of what you saw." Terrified, Adam erased his browsing history and changed his phone number the following day. The photo and how they found him remained a mystery. Then the nightmares began. He was always being watched in his dreams. Adam confided in his tech-savvy friend that had given him the link. His friend said, "Dude, you should have bought something. They don't play around." Our next story takes us into the digital realm of gaming, where a seemingly harmless download quickly spirals into a real-life nightmare. Rachel, a college student and avid gamer, was always on the lookout for the next big gaming fix. One evening, she stumbled upon a thread buzzing with excitement about a game called The Whisperer. It was said to be a deeply immersive horror experience, blurring the lines between reality and the virtual world. Intrigued, Rachel downloaded the game, ignoring the voice in the back of her mind, urging her to reconsider. As Rachel launched the game, a sense of unease washed over her. The screen flickered to life, revealing a stark warning message. Once you enter the world of the Whisperer, there's no turning back. Brushing it off as mere theatrics, Rachel clicked through the warning and dove headfirst into the game. The Whisperer was indeed unlike any game she had played before. It was a chillingly realistic simulation, a world shrouded in darkness and populated by terrifying creatures. But something about the game felt off, almost too real. The game seemed to know things about her, personal things that she had never shared online. At first, it was just subtle hints, a familiar phrase whispered by a digital entity, a location from her childhood recreated with eerie accuracy. But as the game progressed, the lines between the game and reality began to blur in increasingly disturbing ways. The game started referencing specific events from Rachel's life, private conversations, even embarrassing childhood memories that she had long forgotten. It was as if the game had crawled into her mind and was now using her deepest secrets against her. Rachel decided it was best to uninstall the game and stop playing. As soon as the game had uninstalled, it reinstalled itself. A message came up on her computer that said, "You can't stop playing until we say you can." Suddenly, the camera on her laptop came on by itself. Her screen switched to the video that was recording of her terrified face. Rachel screamed as she heard wild laughter coming from the speakers on her computer. Our next story plunges us into the depths of online anonymity and the terrifying reality of cyberstalking. It centers around a Reddit user, known only by their username Watcher in the Night, who found themselves at the center of a chilling real-life horror story that unfolded in the shadows of the internet. It all began with a cryptic post on a dark web forum, a place where anonymity reigned supreme and the darkest corners of the human psyche ran free. The post was short, just a single sentence. It said, "I can see you, Watcher in the Night." At first, Watcher in the Night dismissed it as just another internet troll, a bored individual seeking cheap thrills by preying on the fear of others. But deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted. As days turned into weeks, watcher in, the night couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched, an unsettling sensation that permeated their every move. Strange occurrences started happening around them. Items moved in their home, shadows seemed to follow them, and they couldn't shake off the feeling of eyes constantly on their back. Then came the messages, private messages that appeared in their inbox, each one more chilling than the last. The messages were short, cryptic, but they always contained personal details about watcher in the night's life, their real name, their address, even details about their daily routine. It was clear that this was no longer a harmless prank. Someone was watching them, studying their every move. One night they received a photo and a message. The photo was them asleep in their bed. The message with the picture said, "You look so peaceful when you sleep." They decided to move back home with their family that same night. The person never said if the messages stopped after that. Our final story takes us into the chilling world of dark web chat rooms, where the lines between reality and the digital world become terrifyingly blurred. Lisa, a young woman with a thirst for the unknown, found herself drawn to the dark web's allure of hidden knowledge and forbidden information. One fateful evening, while exploring the darkest corners of the internet, Lisa stumbled upon a hidden chat room, a place shrouded in anonymity and whispered rumors. The chat room was called The Premonition, and it was said to be a place where users could share their darkest thoughts, their deepest fears, and even catch glimpses of the future. Intrigued, Lisa created an anonymous profile and entered the chat room. The digital space was filled with a cacophony of voices, each one vying for attention, sharing cryptic messages and disturbing prophecies. At first, Lisa dismissed it as nothing more than an online gathering of conspiracy theorists and attention seekers. But as the night wore on, a sense of unease settled over her. The conversations in the chat room took a dark turn, delving into topics of death, violence, and the macabre. Users shared disturbing stories, claiming to have witnessed horrific events or even possessed the ability to predict the future. Lisa tried to brush it off as mere online theatrics, but the words lingered in her mind, planting seeds of doubt and fear. Then, a message flashed across the screen, a single sentence that sent chills down Lisa's spine. "The man in the brown coat will meet his end at the stroke of midnight." The message seemed to be directed at no one in particular, just a random statement lost in the sea of digital noise. Lisa tried to ignore it, but the message stuck with her. Days later, while browsing the local news, she froze. A man had been found dead, murdered just blocks from her apartment. He was wearing a brown coat. These stories, as chilling as they are, serve as a stark reminder that the internet, for all its wonders and conveniences, can also be a dangerous place, especially when we venture into its darkest corners. The dark web, with its promise of anonymity and hidden knowledge, can be a breeding ground for criminal activity and unspeakable horrors. It's a place where the lines between reality and the digital world blur, and where nightmares can bleed into our waking lives. If you enjoyed tonight's journey into the abyss, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more spine-chilling content from Tales from the Fiend. And remember, sometimes the most terrifying monsters are not the ones hiding under our beds, but the ones lurking behind our screens. Stay safe out there.